We're continuing our Scream reviews with the 5th installment, Scream, or just Scream 5, leading up to the 6th film, which I am really looking forward to. So let's talk about Scream 5. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. I'm excited to talk about Scream 5 because when it was released in theaters, I didn't get to see it right away. I had to see it a couple weeks later because my children were sick and I just couldn't make it to the theaters. I had a ranking video planned and a lot of videos planned for Scream 5. This is my first time talking about the film on my channel, and it's exciting because the Scream franchise I absolutely love. The second film, the third film, even the fourth film, I think are all pretty great films. Now this 5th film is not directed by Wes Craven. He sadly passed away before this film, and we have the directors of Ready or Not coming in to direct this film, and we have legacy characters, which the film often refers to and talks about sequels and requels and all of that. But we have Gale Weathers and Dewey and Sidney Prescott all returning in here. And some of those characters feel like they don't have the most to do for most of the film, but other characters really contribute a lot. And as similar to a lot of other Scream films, we have many new characters in here. And spoilers, it's been over a year since it's been released. They have some connection to the original films, like Billy Loomis and Jamie Kennedy's character as well. I like how it's connected to other films as well. This is a pretty solid film. There is a lot of bloody kills in here, but what I love so much about the Scream films, and even Scream 5 now, is how self-aware it is, and that discussion of horror films. And now we could talk about elevated horror films. We referenced the Babadook many times in here, and how legacy characters are meant to bring in a new cast and kind of move that cast forward, which we see with the 3 stars returning within this film. But how self-aware this film is, and the formula to the stab films.
But that's not stab. Real stab movies are meta-slasher whodunits, full stop.
Come on, it's just a movie.
And elevated horror and all of the typical slashers plays out in here. And many times the killers in this film are trying to recreate certain moments from that first Scream film. We even get the same house that was at the end of the first Scream with Billy Loomis. And so we understand the importance of the Scream franchise in Scream 5, but also understanding that it needs to move forward and having new characters, and the characters that have been a staple in the franchise for so long, it's time for them to move on. Unfortunately for David Arquette's character, Dewey, who was killed in this film. And we have the other legacy characters like Sidney and Gale Weathers, who at times don't feel like they have the most to do. They just kind of show up here and there, especially Sidney. And if you really just took Sidney or Gale out of here, I think it could just work the same. But having them in here does add to that importance of the story from all of the Scream films and how it has affected their lives. And so it is fun to see Gale and Sidney at the end taking on these new killers.
You want to do the honors? This one's yours.
And they understand how everything works, and nothing really comes as surprises to them. I really like the new cast in here as well. Jenna Ortega, really strong beginning of the film that felt reminiscent to the first Scream film. Melissa Barrera, Jack Quaid, Mikey Madison, everybody in here really contributes a lot to the film. And Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega really have a lot to do in here, and they have a complicated relationship that does relate to the first film. And that adds just so much to the film. I really didn't see that coming. And it adds a whole new element and more dramatic scenes to the film and how it is affecting her relationship with her sister. But I could easily see Melissa Barrera taking on the mantle as like the new Sidney, the new final girl, and having her in the newest film, 6, and then possibly further on, because I would love to see just to continue these films. But she really handles this role well. She understands how she is connected to the original killings with Billy Loomis, but also she wants to kind of break away from that. And there's a lot of back and forth with this character as she feels like she is becoming more like Billy Loomis, but she wants to kind of break away from that. And I really like the look at this character and how it affects and how it is connected to the originals, but also just adding some new elements to it. She is a well-rounded out character that has a lot to do in here, and she works well alongside the legacy characters. Now, the reveals to the characters, the killers in here, from Jack Quaid and Mikey Madison, as we have these characters that are really obsessed with the Stab franchise, and they feel like it's not being taken seriously. It's a unique twist for the killers within the film, and how the films are very important, which if you look at a lot of fandoms lately, it's kind of like that with the Star Wars films and how it's kind of tearing the fans apart. It's a unique way to bring the characters out when a lot of the other killers in the films have had connection to some of the characters. We had Billy Loomis with Sidney's mother, and then the third film being related to Sidney, and the second film, Billy's mother, and the fourth film being the cousin. Everybody had some kind of connection. And even though Jack Quaid has connection to the characters in the film, it's not directly like related to everybody. There's not a motive that is related to family or past moments. This is just fandom at its worst and wanting to kind of control what's happening next. I really like Scream 5 for its discussion on legacy characters and requels, having connection to the original films as well. There is some pacing issues after we learn of Sam's character, and between that time after Dewey is killed and between that time and our big events at the end, that kind of middle ground does move a bit slower as we are discussing the films and getting the characters together and trying to figure out where they are all at. It's got some pacing issues in the middle, but it starts off really strong. Understand what it wants to be. It's a movie that is moving the characters forward, but also respecting Wes Craven and the legacy characters as well. I was pleasantly surprised with it. I'm really looking forward to 6 and seeing what they do in New York City, which will be very different from where we have the first 5 films. I am welcoming that and really excited to see the next step in this direction. So before I give you my score for Scream 5, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. I'm going to go ahead and give Scream 5 a B+. Thank you guys for checking my review for Scream, Thank you guys for checking my review for Scream or Scream 5. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.